Hello everyone, I am Mr. Navrin Mandal, Senior Subject Master of Economics in St. Paul's School, Darjeeling, and you are watching my channel THINKONOMICS-Study with Navrin. As we have promised earlier that we will bring the best of the teachers in India to help our students in the board exam 2023. So today we have the renowned teacher Mr. Mahesh Chandra Kharga. Mr. Mahesh Chandra Kharga is the head of the Department of History and Civics in St. Paul's School, Darjeeling. Mr. Mahesh Chandra Kharga is also the co-author of the book Ages and Event published by Pearson, which most of the school must be using because that is now the best of all the books which the boys and the girls they are using for their board exam. Mr. Mahesh Chandra Kharga is also having the teaching experience for the last 25 years, not only for history and civics, but also for the political science. Welcome, sir, to our channel, Thinkonomics Study with Navrul.
Thank you, Mr. Mandal. It is a great pleasure actually to have me in your channel, and it's really been a worthwhile that you have started this channel, and I wish you all success.
It's an honor, sir, to get you in our channel. Now, sir, whenever we are talking about the history, I have seen right from my school days that it's a myth among the boys and girls. Why to say only about the boys and girls? Even among the parents, that history is a subject you have to go on memorizing. Okay, keeping your eyes closed, you don't have to hear anything. Just go on mugging, and more you write, more you get the marks. So how do you explain this one, sir?
This is not at all true. History is a study of chronology. As the name suggests, it's his story. So if we treat it like a story, naturally a story can never be boring. And so you have to actually find out whatever was happened in the past. If you find the relation to what is happening at the present, if you try to relate those two things, then obviously history will become an extremely exciting subject. It's quite logical subject as well, since you have to study chronologically. It's like any other subject like physics and chemistry, I feel.
Fantastic, sir. That new term, history, his story, boys and girls. See how sir is explaining it to us, how sir can make the subject history as one of the most interesting subject. Girls, you do not have to worry. His story doesn't imply that it is only for the boys, but it is also for you girls. Now, sir, coming to my next question, sir, pandemic has affected both the teachers and the students. Now, in the year 2022, as our research team found that the syllabus has been reduced as compared to that of 2019. Now, sir, now already we have started the school for near about 6-7 months in most of the places. So, is there any kind of changes in the syllabus of 2023 as compared to 2019?
Yeah, of course, there is a change of syllabus because of these circumstances. It's not that, Mr. Mandal, that only the syllabus has been reduced. Certain portions also have been added. The children must note that
Oh my
also.
God.
And let me tell you a few topics that have been actually been deleted, just to name a few, not all of them, and those topics which have been added. In the deleted portions in civics, I can see in the topic high courts. The topic judicial review, the High Courts as a court of record, enforcement of fundamental rights, they all have been deleted. In history, the precursors of the Indian National Congress, factors leading to the formation of the Muslim League. The cabinet mission plan, surprisingly, was a very important omission, I thought. The Pearl Harbor incident, the Hiroshima Nagasaki bombings, which I found the children to be super excited to learn these things, but still it has been deleted. And Panchashil and the role of Nehru, all these topics in history have been deleted. Now, just to give you an idea of one topic which have been added later, I think the children must know this carefully, is objectives of the League of Nations. Right?
Okay.
This has been added, but it's not that only it has been deleted.
Alright, students, please listen carefully as I said, the portion which has been added, which you have to study it properly. So if you can say it once more to our students, the portion which has been added to history.
Yes, the portion which has been added to world history specifically is the objectives of the League of Nations. League of Nations formed after the First World War. You all children must be knowing about that. So this topic has been added, just to name a few. Yeah.
So now coming to the specimen paper. This specimen paper, what I saw, boys and girls, in 2022, especially in the semester 1, whatever questions was there in the specimen paper, at least 25 to 30%, the same question came.
Correct.
The same question came in the board exam. So follow your specimen paper properly.
Correct.
And with the help of sir, I am saying it to you, from SAT school, that is St. Paul's School, Darjeeling, there are few boys who got full 40 upon 40 on the MCQ. So we are coming to the most interesting topic, that is MCQ. Alright sir, now coming to 2023 specimen paper published by the council. So the paper has been divided into two parts. That is part 1 of 30 marks and part 2 of another 50 marks. So in this part 1, the council now they are giving 16 MCQ, 1 marks of each, and they are giving 7 short answer type question of 2 marks of each. So this MCQ pattern which the council have started, do you think that the council is actually preparing our students for the All India competitive exam like UPSC and even the state civil service examination?
Yes, of course, this is, I think, a step in the right direction, and we are slowly moving towards a centralized examination pattern, which can be followed in the whole of India, right? So yes, I feel it's a very good move.
All right, so it's a good move according to sir. Yes, we do also feel, most of the teachers, we do feel that it is a good thing from the council's part in order to prepare the boys and girls for the all India level examination.
Yeah.
Now coming to sir, the short answer type question, that is there will be 7 short answer type question of each of 2 marks. So in this 2 marks question, how much or how many points the council expect the boys and the girls to write? Suppose one question which I found in the council paper, that is, what are the causes of Quit India movement? Now there are many causes. So how many causes council expect the boys and girls to write, and how much they will write in each and every point?
Just to interrupt a little bit, let me come to the MCQ portion. I just want to tell you one thing here. In MCQ type question, of course, the children will know that each MCQ is a 1 mark into 16 questions, and out of those 16 questions in MCQ, 1 mark each, 6 are from civics and 10 are from history. So that is the sample question paper which have been published by the council, right? So it's, I mean, that's the weightage that they are giving now. Now coming to your question in the short answer type question. 7 questions are there into 2 marks each.
Yes, sir.
Right? And what I feel is, I think the council just expects 2 points to be written. Uh, of course, 1 point will fetch the child 1 mark, the other point will fetch the other mark. That means
Alright,
just just 2 points would be good enough. But for a little bit of safe, if you want to play it safe, maybe 3 points can also be given. That's what I feel. That's what I tell my boys to do in my school.
alright, sir. But if they write one more point, it is definitely good, as you have said. But will there be any kind of time constraint?
It might be, yes, it might be to write one extra point, one extra line you have to write, but you have to manage time accordingly. You should not be thinking too much, and you should be straight away, going to the point specifically. And one more technique which we can use it, I think that the underlining of the answers would be very crucial actually.
Wow, that's another important thing sir has said. Mr. Mahesh has said that if possible, if your time permits, always go for one extra. So that little bit of mistake in one point, you have the safe side, means one extra point where you will get the full marks for the answers which you have given. Now, Mr. Mahesh, our research team, they have observed that in the part 2 section A of part 2, boys and girls, they have to attempt 2 questions out of 3.
Yeah.
And in civics, there are 5 chapters.
Correct.
All right. And out of these 5 chapters, one question comes from prime ministers and president. One question comes from Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And the third one is from the court, that is Supreme Court, High Court, and Lok Adalat. Now, sir, is there any kind of selective study possible in this case in order to score the full marks, but little bit of less studies?
Uh, it's a good question actually. Uh, Basically, what happens is, Mr. Mandal, is that uh, civics, there are basically, it's been divided into 3 portions, right?
Yes, sir.
One is the legislature, the other one is the executive,
Yes,
and
sir.
the other one is the judiciary.
Yes, sir.
In legislature, you just have to study Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, the lawmaking body that is. In executive, you have to basically study about the president and the prime minister. And finally, in the judiciary, you have to study about the Supreme Court and the High Court. So, how many topics that you need to study? About 6 topics in total in civics. And you'll be given 3 questions, one from legislature, one from executive, one from judiciary, right? So, according to me, you have to be very thorough with civics. You know why? Because it's a very scoring topic. You can score full marks in civics, much like political science.
Yes.
And so, better not to actually skip portions. That's what I feel. Because in the legislature, you just have to study Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Either of them will come.
Okay, sir.
Totally 6 topics: Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, President, Prime Minister, and finally the Supreme Court and the High Courts. So don't take a chance. That's what I feel.
All right, sir. Plus, as a citizen, as a upcoming citizen of India, our boys and girls must also know that how the country runs in that way.
Correct.
Who knows, they can also be the prime minister or maybe the president of our country.
Correct.
All right, sir. So, my boys and girls, be here with us. We will take a short break of 2 minutes and we will come back very soon. Sir, as we have discussed, that with just few months left and near about 20 chapters. So, if you can suggest our boys the more relevant and the more important topics,
Correct.
so that they can prepare accordingly.
Correct.
Because I feel the topics are more important for our students as compared to that of the chapters.
chapters. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a perennial question with every teacher. So, what are the important topics for next year?
Yes, sir, definitely.
You must have faced this in the class. We all face this in the class.
Yeah.
So, I have prepared a rough estimate of what actually they can expect next year. Okay, I've got a paper with me which I want to just
Yes, yes.
point out to you.
My boys and
Uh,
girls, sir, just to interference, my boys and girls, you must be having your pen and your paper ready, because as I is saying, it is always better to note it down. These are important, and sir suggestion never fails. Come on, keep it in mind that.
uh, in civics, what I can tell you is, as I just mentioned, that civics is a very full marks scoring paper.
Yes, sir.
In civics, what I can suggest to the children are in legislature, that is, we'll start with legislature, then the executive and the judiciary. In legislature, they can start with doing Rajya Sabha. In executive,
Yes, sir.
it is the president.
Yeah.
You know why? You know that very well. Why? Because this year the presidential elections took place, and the new president was elected after 5 years.
5 years, yes,
So
sir.
it's a very important event in the politics of the country after every 5 years.
Yes,
So
sir.
that should carry a little bit of importance.
And even the vice president also.
Even the vice president also,
Yes,
course,
sir.
of course. And in the topic judiciary, it should be the high courts. High courts should carry a little bit of weightage rather than the Supreme Court. Okay, according to me.
Okay, sir.
In Indian history, uh, the important topics can be the revolt of 1857, as always. The
Yes,
revolt
yes, yes.
carries a lot of weightage.
So even in the specimen paper, as you are saying now, I am seeing that
Lot of
we have
similarity.
done lot of research for this. As you are saying, this one I am seeing that some of the questions are there in the specimen paper.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Come on.
Thank you, Mr. Mandal. Next one is the factors leading to the growth of nationalism.
Yes.
Uh, one of the three mass movements always comes. The three mass movements are non-cooperation movement 1920,
Okay.
the civil disobedience movement 1930, and the quit India movement 1942.
So just 10, 12 years difference, as you are saying.
Correct.
1920, 1930 and 1942. So out of 20 dates, at least 3
Three
dates
you
are
have already got. 10 years and 12 years difference.
Yes.
Isn't it? So,
Mm.
and these three mass movements started by Gandhi will be extremely important for them.
Okay.
And according to me, this year will be non-cooperation movement, which will be carrying a lot of importance. And of course, the non-cooperation movement was withdrawn because of the Chauri Chaura incident.
Okay, sir.
22 policemen killed.
Yes, yes.
In the year 1922. This is another way of remembering dates. 22 policemen killed in 1922.
Yes.
Right? And so these are the
So
topics.
1922, you are saying 22 policemen killed. So there is another relation.
There is another relation.
Another relation.
Yes. And in world history, what I suggest to the children are the rise of dictatorship, both in Italy and Germany. And of course, the United Nations is always a very important topic to study. And the agencies of the United Nations, specifically the UNESCO and the UNICEF.
All right.
Right? And children, I want to just give you one more tip for your examination. You can give relevant examples in whatever you are writing. Suppose you're writing the topic on the President of India. What you can do is just add one more line. Maybe there'll be a time constraint, which we have talked about before, but just add one more line. The current president, Mrs. Draupadi Murmu, was elected in July 2022.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic.
Isn't it? So that will make an impression upon the examiner a lot.
Yes, yes. That's fantastic, sir. That's very good. Mr. Mahesh, Coming to the part 2, okay, section B of part 2, there are 9 chapters of Indian history and 6 chapter of contemporary world. And as the council's paper suggests, that here council will give our students 5 questions, and out of 5 questions, our boys and girls, they will have to do 3. And as I found in the council specimen paper, if I go with the specimen paper, that 3 questions they are giving right from the Indian history and 2 questions from the contemporary world. Now, will it be possible for the boys and girls that if they give more stress on the Indian history with little bit of less stress on the world history, because all 3 questions from the Indian history, if a boy or if a girl wants to attempt, can attempt only from there.
Yeah, you are correct. I mean, the sample question paper is says like that, right? But according to me, the children should not be taking a little bit. If they are taking a little bit of risk there, you have to be extremely thorough with your Indian history. Then I suggest not to do that because you'll be taking a risk. To be honest.
Okay, sir. So, why I asked you this question, I know, and most of the boys and girls also know, basically that they have to do all the chapters. But now, if you see, it is already we have entered the month of September, and council generally they start their examination by the month of February end.
Correct.
So we just have now 5 months left, and with near about now 20 chapters.
Correct.
What will be the strategy of our students to complete these 20 chapters? Along with that, definitely the test paper, specimen paper. So, what will be the strategy to do well and how to prepare well? How much time basically they will give for history and civics each and every day?
Uh, See, history is considered to be a little bit on the boring side. That's what the children think. And if you combine history in one particular day with a subject, a little bit fun subject, let's say mathematics or
Okay.
physics or chemistry, if they can combine like that, maybe it'll be a good option for them. Today you study history, maybe tomorrow not again history, or maybe
Okay.
not again geography, maybe something like a science subject. Again, they can go back the day after that to maybe a subject like history or geography. So they have to plan it accordingly. A timetable they need to, it's extremely important before the exam, just as you mentioned, 5 months left for the children to actually prepare, and timetable will be of utmost importance to them. You need to be a little bit passionate about doing things now in order to succeed. This is your first public examination.
Yes.
That you are going to appear for in your life. So, as you said, practice test papers. After every chapter, you take a self test, or maybe you can also do a quiz also.
Okay, that's a good idea.
That will be extremely helpful preparation for them.
All right, boys and girls. So Sir has given a very good idea in that way. That taking quiz, all right. So if suppose in your class only you can do the quiz among yourselves.
Yeah.
All right, you can form the group. You can and you can ask the question from each chapter. So in that way, to some extent, it will be much more interesting. And what Sir has suggested just now, ma'am, as far as I what I understood, is that if you are not doing history and civics on each and every day, but at least on the alternate day, if you do,
Yes.
with maths and physics, that will be much more better.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Now, sir, coming to the most scary part. Before my history civics examination, sir, if I say to you, the nightmare is a date of the history.
The dates. Okay.
Starting from 1857.
Correct.
to 1947.
Correct.
90 years date, sir. How to remember how a small children of the age of 15 and 16, for them 90 years dates remember is very, very tough.
Right.
How to make it easy, sir?
See, there are a few points that I want to mention in this. History, as I just told you, that it's a study of chronology, uh, a story in a chronological form, right?
Yes, sir.
What I suggest to the children is that, three very crucial dates in Indian history when the British came to India. Those dates you have to remember anyway. Those three dates are just three.
Okay,
Not
sir.
more than that. 1757, 1857, 1947.
All right.
Now, why 1757 is that the British first captured, through the Battle of Plassey,
Yes.
the richest province of India, which is Bengal.
True, sir.
Bengal was captured in 1757. That's one very important event. The next important date is 1857. Why? Because the first time Indians challenged the British in the form of a revolt, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And after that comes 1947, everybody knows that. So if you remember these three dates, and after that, you know what you have to do? You have to fit in the other dates accordingly. Now, how do you fit in the other dates? There's another technique, Mr. Mandal. You have to relate history. Suppose you are studying Indian history, you have to relate that to world history.
Okay.
Suppose I give you a date, very easy date to remember. Everybody knows that date, which is the 15th of August.
Yes.
1947. Something very important happened in the world on 15th of August, the very same day in world history. I think the children will know. And that is the surrender of Japan in the Second World War. 15th of August, 15th of August. They surrendered in 1945. We got our independence exactly 2 years later in 1947.
That's very interesting.
Isn't it?
Yes.
That's another way of remembering. Another example I want to give you is the year 1919. It might be a very odd date to remember, 1919, how to remember? Well, 1919 as such is a very easy date to remember. Two 19s are there. But what happened in Indian history? The Jallianwala Bagh massacre. What happened in world history? The Treaty of Versailles.
Wow.
After the First World War was signed. So if you relate these kind of dates to each other, it's extremely beneficial technique. Third technique will be, well, you have to do it physically. You have to prepare a timeline, a chart in your bedroom or your study room. You have to write the important dates that you have to remember right from 1857 to 1947. Not very much. 90 years, what you are saying, hardly the important dates will be around just about 15 to 20 dates.
All right. Okay, sir.
It's not very much. Put a chart. Every day you pass by, give it a look. You pass by the next day, give it a look. Every day you go, recollect what's happening on that day, that event happened. Right? If you start recollecting like this for just 1 month, it has been proved in history that those dates will last you a lifetime.
Okay.
You will never forget this.
Okay, sir.
Right?
So, boys and girls, as Mr. Mahesh has said, two ways of remembering in that way. One is to relate the Indian history with the world history. Sir has given the example of surrendering of Japan on 15th of August and on the same date, but in 1947, India got independence. Sir has also given the relationship between the Jallianwala Bagh incident and the Treaty of Versailles.
Versailles.
Treaty of Versailles. The second most important thing what Sir said, that we boys and girls generally do is for chemistry. Is for chemistry, the periodic table. Most of you must have the periodic table with the elements, the name of the elements, their atomic number, their valency. You are putting it in the wall, morning or evening, you are just going through it. And you remember which elements come after which one. Same thing as I is suggesting, just 20, 15 to 20 days in these 90 years. If you put it just side of the chemistry periodic table, you will just see. You will just see the result. So this is how the dates can be remembered. Sir, one more thing I just want to know is that some of the teachers, especially in Kolkata, I found that while writing the answers, they are asking the students sometime to underline with the pencil, sometimes even they are asking to highlight it with the highlighters. How important is it? To the council, they ask the evaluator regarding that highlighting the main important points so that it goes easy for them. Is it like that?
I don't think the council has stressed very much on this point, but I think generally it's a very good practice actually to highlight certain important words. Don't make it very jazzy, after every line, each and every line you put 2 or 3 marks.
Okay.
Maybe in a paragraph, just 1 or 2 maybe. The advantage of that is that the examiner, his eyes will go on that particular point, and the examiner will come to know the gist of that answer.
Okay.
So that will be very, very beneficial. Yes, I also suggest my boys also to actually do this in my class.
Okay, okay. So it's better, boys and girls, that if you underline the keywords in your answers, it will not carry you the extra marks, but definitely it will give some advantages to the students, because teachers, when they are correcting the papers, they are correcting near about 200, 300 papers.
Correct.
During the time of board.
Correct.
So they are pressurized. They sometimes gets irritated at the end of the day if your paper comes. So if you underline it, teachers will just see the main points and you will get the full marks.
Correct.
So one more thing, I just want to know, basically the boys and girls of 15, 16 years of age, they are giving the examinations. Sometimes they are tensed. Maybe they do not know the answers. Okay, or suppose the question number 2 they don't know, but they know the question number 3. Is it possible for the students to answer question number 3 before question number 2 and writing the question number 2 in the last, or you suggest them to keep some space for question number 2 and then write the question number 3? Which one will be better for the boys and girls?
The part 1, as you know, 30 marks, 16 MCQ plus 14 mark short answers, they have to answer anyway. It has to be done serially.
All right.
If you do question number 4 in the first and then question number 1 in the last, in short answers, it becomes a little bit tiresome, it becomes a little bit tedious for the teachers to correct.
Okay, sir.
Regarding long answers, well, you can do it in any serial, no issues, because it's a long answer that you have to write. But regarding short answers, I don't think they should be doing in a haphazard manner.
Alright. So it is better for them that if they don't know the answers, to keep a blank of 2-3
Absolutely.
lines and then go for the next answer.
Absolutely. They
Alright.
can leave a line, yes. Suppose they don't know the answer of question number 4, MCQ, right? Or maybe short answer. So they can leave, basically, 2 marks means 2 points.
2 points.
So they can just leave 2 or 3 lines there and then they can proceed to the next question.
Alright.
It's a good practice.
Okay, so
Yeah.
students, it is always better if you do not know the answers. We understand that most of you are pressurized. Alright, you are tensed while giving the exam. So you may forget 1-2 answers. So it is better, as has suggested, to keep some space and then go for the next answer. After completing all the answers, then think, and definitely you will be able to write the answers.
Right.
So coming now to, actually we are going on discussing about the ICSE, alright, ICSE examinations, but there are many students in my channel, those who are from the CBSE board, and some of them has asked that if the teachers can help for the students of the CBSE board also. So what will be the actual way for even for the CBSE boys and girls to prepare for the 2023?
Um, According to my knowledge, the CBSE is actually a combination of what ICSE is a different subject, like CBSE social studies, I think they say. It's a combination of economics, your subject.
Yes.
It's a combination of history, geography, uh, and I think sociology also. So it's a combination of many subjects, right? The same technique which I just told in the previous answer,
Yes, sir.
maybe two answers before, uh, the same techniques apply to them also. Preparing the chart and remembering the dates, comparing world history to Indian history. Basically the technique is the same. Though I think they study much less of history because the overall paper is a combination of many other subjects. That's what I can tell them.
Oh, okay, thank you so much, sir. I think the boys and girls who will be watching this video, who will be watching the channel, you will be helped a lot by the way sir have suggested you, the sir have advised you. Just last few words from sir for our boys and girls. Uh, Sir, few words for our boys and girls.
For both for the boys and girls and for you also, Mr. Mandal, having started this channel uh, after the sole purpose, which I think is to help the children score better marks. It is a unique thing in our school too, and it is such a pleasure actually to be a part of your channel. Um, you have dared to dream something very unique,
Thank you so much,
and
sir.
even you have to stand alone. You are there always. And best of luck to your channel. And for the boys and girls, study hard, do well in
Yes.
life, uh, uh, outshine in your life, for your parents, for your teachers, and all the people who love you very much. Thank you, and God bless.
All right, thank you once more, sir. So, my dear boys and girls, you have to study hard, as sir said. You have to be focused to achieve something in your life. Yes, the channel Thinkonomics is not a monetized channel. Myself and sir, we are paid quite well from our school. The sole purpose for this channel is to help our boys and girls how to prepare them not only for the economics but also for all the subjects for the board exam of 2023 and the coming years. So stay tuned with our channel. We will try to bring one of the best mathematician, the best mathematics teacher in within a month. That's a promise from Mr. Navaran Mandal and the channel Thinkonomics. Namaskar and Jai Hind.